Hi there, my fellow specters and spirits. I am Baron Bones, and today I'll be talking about the Black Phone 2. So, Black Phone 2 is the sequel to The Black Phone, and is directed by Scott Derrickson, the same man who directed the first movie. It stars Mason Thames and Madeline McGraw as Finn and Gwen Blake, who takes place about 3 years after the first movie. Gwen is starting to get some weird dreams about some ghost kids in some Christian youth camp, so they decide to investigate. However, the grabber seems to be plotting something from beyond the grave. So, The Black Phone was a very successful thriller with some supernatural horror elements. The sequel is more of a straight up horror film and uses a lot of the supernatural elements that were only kind of mentioned and briefly shown in the first movie. It also tries to deliver some lore and some background for some of the characters. It's interesting on paper, but in execution, it's Dollar Store Nightmare on Elm Street and even borrows a lot of elements from Friday the 13th. As the grabber seems to hunt his victims in their dreams primarily, and the setting is youth camp in the forest. Does any of these things sound familiar to anybody else but me? Because, trust me, this story is just generic as it gets. There is nothing I didn't see coming a mile away, and everything is pretty much either hinted at or shown pretty much immediately. That being said, I still enjoyed myself, partially due to the fact that Scott Derrickson is just that good of a filmmaker. He uses a lot of different motifs. He uses a grimier motif to really show the difference between the dream realm and the real realm. What I mean by that is, like, the dream realm is shot in a lower aspect ratio than our realm of the living, which I really like. It makes the dream realm feel unique and is kind of really cool and well done. Plus, the other shots he does in the film are also really good. So I really enjoy a lot of the visual elements of this film. The characters, on the other hand, well, I will say Finn and Gwen Blake continue to be really interesting characters, and they are the bulk of the reason to see this film. Unfortunately, everyone else is borderline forgettable. None of the other characters have that much to do, and the ones that do have some reason to be here just aren't that well developed. Even the grabber feels less threatening than he did in the first movie and is somehow doing less as a ghost than he did when he was alive. Like, seriously, I was not threatened by him at all in this movie, but in the first movie, he was creepy as heck. It is annoying to see that type of progression in a character. Furthermore, the film overall just felt boring. I didn't find myself invested, and that is a huge problem here. There are some interesting ideas and concepts, especially when you start to connect the grabber's past to the past of the main duo. But unfortunately, it's not enough to save the film here. Some interesting lore, some okay characterization with the main characters, and some good filmmaking do make for a good time, but they aren't enough to make this film as good as the original. If you're looking for something that is really in the vein of the first movie with this one, you're going to be disappointed. If you want a simple, stereotypical slasher horror movie with supernatural elements, that's pretty much what this is, at the end of the day. I'm going to give Black Phone 2 a 6 out of 10. I did enjoy myself to a modicum of degree, but I just can't fully say this movie is as good as the first one. Anyway, that's my opinion on the Black Phone 2. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time. And remember, stay terrified.